Do you think of Modi and you say development as the first word, or do you say 2002 riots as the first word?
Well, I rest my case. Because you just have to look at the democracy of
do we move
democracy of this country and then
do we move?
Case.
I question is 1 second, 1 minute, please. Do we move? Can I just go through 6 questions? I think that alone, because I
you should run a poll whether everybody allows you to go through
this. Let's go through the 6 questions, because the response to Narendra Modi is a complex response. And we need to understand how the viewer, the voter is responding to Modi. It's not a unidimensional response. The 4th question is, will this election be determined by personality or issues? The BJP wants it to be personalities, but not...
I think it's very important, even understanding the dynamic of the election.
Yes.
43% say issues. So yes, anti-incumbency is important. 27% say personality, which means if you project a leadership, it gets you the swing vote, the floating vote.
Yes.
So I think this question doesn't contradict the previous one of development versus riot. Rather, it explains the first past the post system and how it works.
In fact, what is coming across to me quite evidently is that there is an interlaying of issues. While as the discourse and the dialectic and the debate very often is unidimensional, do you like Modi for Gujarat or do you not like Modi for Gujarat 2002? Do you like Modi for development or do you not like Modi for development? Do you think Modi will commonly polarize? What I find very interesting in response to question number 5 is that the same people, many of the same people who say we primarily associate Narendra Modi with development also believe that Narendra Modi's candidature will lead to communal polarization. Take a look at that question out there. Will Modi's candidature lead to communal polarization? And an astonishing 48.6% say yes. We feel / we fear that it will lead to that polarization.
The way to bridge the gap between the two issues, they're not essentially contradictory. 49% saying that they believe him to be polarizing is simply saying that 49% are cognizant of the dynamics of our polity. Yeah. They are cognizant of the voting patterns in our elections. It's a cognizant voter.
It is. And the last question, Narika, takes the last question.
Arnab, this has to have 2 reference points. If 2002 is where Sankarshan is, there's also a 2013 Muzaffarnagar. And that question will definitely, in the run-up to the 2014 elections, be extremely important. And the last question is, can Modi alone take BJP beyond 200 seats? Yes, he can, is about 43.4%, and no, he needs alliance partners within the NDA, say about 41%. So that's even Stevens. So it's the Modi charisma as well as alliance partners. So without one, the other doesn't work.
Now I'm going to throw this open to the panel, right? But before that, I will summarize this in plain English. If one were to go with the majority response to this sample, what would it be like? The majority view would be something like this. It is time for the Congress to declare its prime ministerial candidate, and we feel the best person to take on Narendra Modi is Rahul Gandhi. Narendra Modi has moved on from 2002. It is not the primary issue he is associated with. It might be the secondary issue. We feel, however, that despite Narendra Modi wanting this to be a personality election, it will be an issue-based election. But we also fear that Narendra Modi's entering the fray will lead to a communal polarization. But most of us feel he has the ability to take the Congress, to take the BJP beyond 200. So I would say this mixed bag, slightly confused response is actually the response of the Indian voter today to this personality of Narendra Modi. They want him as an antidote. And my question is, opening question, what I also see here, when I link this to Manmohan Singh's single-digit approval rating is this: does India look upon Narendra Modi as an antidote to the personality of Manmohan Singh, much rather than what Narendra Modi stands for alone? They're not sure what Narendra Modi stands for, but they'd rather have Narendra Modi than Manmohan Singh. Manisha takes it first.
See, certainly,
Manisha,
if you look at that 69% response, that's the priority ranking. So they've said, let's put other issues aside. We may or may not even vote for the BJP, but if you ask us about this person, we would say we concede ground on development. The second part is that, however, whoever is going to lead the nation now will be hemmed in by the fact that no more communal rioting. So this person can divide. Therefore, we can say that the person...
response.
No, it's not a confused response. It's a clear response. It's a strategic response. That don't polarize. We are conceding ground to you on development, but don't polarize.
People are saying that they rank decisiveness above anything else, anyone but Manmohan. Secondly, they are saying, even though we are aware that he may be polarizing, we still think his development record means we will go with him to 200 seats.
With open eyes, with open eyes. Don't polarize.
We will discern what he's doing and we'll keep him under watch. So what I understand from this is that whatever Mr. Narendra Modi does between tonight and May 15, 2014 will be very closely watched, and the results today are more anti-Congress whip than a pro-BJP whip. Can I get responses to the Modi snap poll? Who do I start with first? Let's start with Hartosh, then I take it around, one by one.
Clearly, Arnab, he's a deeply divisive figure.
Yep.
We haven't had a figure like this in Indian politics ever, I think. And if people are still backing him, a great part of the blame, clearly from these figures, it seems that they are reluctant to back him. There are great question marks about Modi, but they are backing him because of what they've seen the Congress do over the last 8 to 10 years.
Okay, should we open up to the politicians on the panel? Okay, let's take some from our expert views and then I'll come to the politicians.
People are talking jobs in 2013 and 2014 and that's when Modi or the alternative will have to deliver.
Vinod Mehta.
Now, it's quite clear that brand Modi is a complex brand. It's the sum of many parts. There is not one Mr. Narendra Modi, there are various Mr. Narendra Modis, which is reflected in your 5 or 6 questions. Now, if the BJP has selected Mr. Narendra Modi because of his strong personality, how do you explain the fact that the issues are more important than personality? And can I also say that on issues we don't know what Mr. Modi stands for. The Congress, whether you may dislike them, but they have a basket.
He's the only person whose views are known to the world.
Please listen. They have a basket full of things to go to the electorate with, whether they work or not. But I ask one question. What does Mr. Development is a very amorphous word.
Okay, well, quick round to our 4 remaining panelists, then we are opening up to the political panelists.
Just 2 quick points. If people are still backing him because the issue, the mood in the country today is not so much about an individual, but about a desire for a tough, strong leadership, number one. What you think gives about, people wanting personality, issue polarization. It means what they're looking for is a tough leadership, strong leadership. What they want is development, and they still think communal versus secular is going to be an issue. That's the way it's being categorized.
I want to throw one question.
Honor.
2 more.
If there is no question, if this were to be a presidential poll, Mr. Modi would be well ahead. Please remember, look at your figures in Delhi. Why is the Aam Aadmi Party at all getting 16-17%? If Modi himself made such a difference, the Aam Aadmi Party would have been wiped out because
this poll was
state election
no, it's just 2 days.
State election.
The poll of Delhi.
It will make a big difference. You should not mix up things.
Aarti.
No, I just want to bridge this, seeming contradiction between development as the main issue and Modi as a divisive, communally polarizing figure. I think it's a warning to Narendra Modi that we are ready to take you, we're ready to support you, but no more statements like Kutte ka Bachcha, I am a Hindu nationalist, and so on and so forth. We don't want that kind of stuff.
I'm glad Aarti said this because, I think a lot of the support that's going to Mr. Modi is because of the very evident lapses in leadership of the UPA. That's a no-brainer. We don't need to debate that. But a lot of those people are also wishing Mr. Modi to become an inclusive secular leader. In my view, he is not going to be. He is not. Sachin Tendulkar playing snooker does not mean to say he is a great batsman. He'll play snooker. He's a great batsman. Modi does not need to foreground what he did in 2002. That image is set. People know what he is all about. The rest...
Is that what? I'm not meaning this to provoke Mr. Sankarshan Thakur or anyone else. Mr. Vinod Mehta says Davos won us. And
no, but Mr. Vinod Mehta says Modi has no issues, Congress has issues.
No, what
I'm so amused by that.
May I please, since I'm on my
legs. Amusing analogy.
We haven't heard Narendra Modi on any macroeconomic issue.
He's the only leader you've heard on every issue. You heard his development plan. You heard his plan for minimum government, maximum governance. You've seen his track record on jobs. You've seen his track record on development.
Is he for acquiring a nuclear arsenal for this country? I mean,
if for nothing else,
how will he stop the rupee from declining?
But for this sore voice and these tired legs that I stand on. But for the sore voice and the tired I put a question to our panelists tonight. I put a question to our panelists.
One very small point. Very small point. If Mr. Modi becomes this all-inclusive figure and becomes this very liberal kind of person, does he diminish his support with his core constituency?
Absolutely. My question is this. It has also emerged from the Times Now. It has also emerged from the Times Now poll, state poll projections today. Sanjay Jha, welcome to the panel. Pawan Verma, I'm very sorry. I just wanted to build up the debate and then I'm coming to you. So here's the alternative. Suppose the Congress party changes its strategy, Sanjay Jha. One strategy change could be that we realize that we are doing badly because of the central government and Dr. Manmohan Singh. So why don't you end the ambiguity on the leadership issue? You may not want this to be a personality contest, Sanjay. But common sense would tell you that you do not need to, it is worse for the Congress party to go into this election with some voters thinking it could be maybe status quo after the elections if the Congress were to come back. Would this result compel you to look at the leadership issue again?
Arnab, yours is not a result, yours is an opinion poll, clarification number one. Number two, having done some degree of statistical sampling in my previous career, I can tell you that if you do a research of a survey in extreme situations, you said, and I'm glad you said so at the very beginning, that the C voter did this survey after all the hype and hoopla that the BJP and some sections of the media also get very excited about. You're bound to get results that might be skewed. I want to mention that. I'm not going to dispute your numbers. I'm not in the business of ridiculing any research. But to answer your question, fundamentally, I can tell you where the contradiction is and why Narendra Modi is a non-starter. If a man is seen as pro-development as well as communal, let me tell you, in Muzaffarnagar, after what has happened, and all the communal disturbances over the last 1 year, 30 or 80, whatever the number is, which foreign investor, which domestic investor is going to put his money in Uttar Pradesh? That's the same risk that you run when you have Narendra Modi trying to run any government. He may have got away with that in Gujarat, I can promise you. I can promise you, if you read the international press, their worry and concern is extremely genuine because they believe here is a divisive leader coming on a religious fundamentalist backing, and that completely reduces his entire selling of this development spin, which, by the way, has been exaggerated, and we have proved it wrong repeatedly on television channels. I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that.
If they had a leader, they would announce a leader.
Now, let me answer your leadership question, and then Piyush can come and answer me thereafter.
Its prince, who does not have enough adequate support amongst the people. They are scared that if they expose the prince today as their leader and he takes a drubbing in the election, which looks to be pretty much evident, not only because of your poll but from the mood of the nation. You go down to every rally that the BJP holds, particularly the ones that Mr. Modi addresses, and you see the enthusiasm,
there were 2 lakh people at Rahul Gandhi's rally, weren't there? I mean, what is the numbers?
Compared to 5 lakhs in Mr. Modi's rally. So you can keep comparing numbers, that's not a problem. And the enthusiasm, that's what you have to see. It's the enthusiasm in the crowd. As far as this panel's views are concerned, Arnab,
give me a chance to respond to Piyush.
The country has got divided, as we can see, not because of Mr. Modi, because of certain section of society which is completely scared of having a decisive, strong, development-oriented leader coming on.
Which section of society?
The development-oriented leader or communalism-based leadership?
Which section of society?
The communal leader or development-based leader?
Let him complete his comment. He has the right to complete. Yes.
It is a left-leaning section of society which is extremely scared that if Modi comes in and brings in
We are not worried about it.
If Modi comes in and eliminates poverty, if Modi comes in and improves infrastructure,
Pawan Verma,
all these
Pawan Verma is
divisive
rebutting you. We
vote
have a few minutes on the debate.
Arnab, all these divisive
No,
vote
Arnab,
banks
I need to
are
respond. Arnab, I will interrupt if I'm not given an
crash.
opportunity
I don't know
to respond to Piyush
Pawan Verma.
Yes, sir. I'm waiting.
to respond to Piyush. 1 minute, you're not giving me a chance to respond to
JDU has done business with your party. So we stand corrected here, but he heard you that I give him a chance to respond. Pawan Verma to Piyush Goyal. Go ahead.
You know,
Pawan Verma.
Arnab,
Coming to Mr. Anjana.
it's up to the Congress party to announce a leader or not. I think your survey has come so soon after the anointment of Mr. Modi and this aggressive social media and media campaign that the BJP has led. It may have had an influence on the way voters react. But I heard on your panel earlier, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad saying there will be the incremental factor of Modi. I want to posit to you and your experts that there is going to be the diminishing factor of Mr. Modi, primarily on two counts. First of all, he is posturizing his image in terms of governance. But as his claim to governance is interrogated more and more, and as the reality of what Gujarat's model of development really is, people are going to understand that it's not even though the mood against the Congress may be very strong, that he is not necessarily a messiah of governance. Secondly, the downside that comes with it, which is that he is recognized outside polls and outside the Gujarat and even within Gujarat as an extremely divisive figure, and the complex and diverse reality of India is such that nobody wants even the claim of governance at the cost of social instability. So therefore, I believe that if you give Mr. Modi time, it will be a diminishing
identified with development power.
I didn't interrupt Mr. Goyal. It will be a diminishing factor, and I think the point that needs to be made, and maybe we are all wrong or maybe you are right, I believe that the BJP with Mr. Modi has lost the chance once and for all to build on the anti-Congress mood.
Beyond your criticism, the question equally goes to the left, because Mr. Anjan got provoked by Mr. Piyush Goyal when he said a certain section, what was your phrase? Left-leaning.
The left-leaning so-called liberals who are thinking that they have the only right to decide the political discourse.
One second. So I presume you were talking about Atul Kumar Anjan and not Vinod Mehta, but you are
I'm not talking of any individual, I'm talking of an ideology.
On a lighter note, Mr. Left-leaning, so-called liberal Atul Kumar Anjan. Mr. Left.
I'm a strong leftist, I'm not a liberal, because liberals have no place in the society. They can go here and there. I'm a firm left.
He's CPI, Baba. He's left. He's not left-leaning.
He's as left as it can be.
I just want to...
Question is, beyond criticism, beyond criticizing Narendra Modi, what are you doing? Have you given up the fight for 2014?
Till now,
have you given up the fight for 2014?
You are putting all the flowers. Now let me assess the Narendra Modi. What is he? What is he? He is a political killer.
Oh.
Yes. In his own party, he has killed Subodh Mehta, ex-Chief Minister of Gujarat. He has killed Keshubhai Patel. Listen. I'm telling you. He was one time.
I don't know what you mean by killed.
Anyway.
What do you mean by killed?
Where is Keshubhai Patel? Where is Keshubhai Patel? You argue, I say. And where is Kashi Singh Rana? Where is Shankar Baghela? Where is Haren Pandya? Where is Haren Pandya? Where is Sohrabuddin? Where are 32 officers, those who are in jail? So he is a, you see, very interesting,
can you answer the question?
You say, encounter expert. An encounter expert you want to bring. I just replying you. When you were not, when you will speak, I will then interfere. When you will speak, I will interfere. And my voice is more louder than you. You make it point. I just want to tell you one another thing. You said a particular section of the society. You are preaching here communalism. You want to preach, and that 48% people, 49% people, among them minorities are also there. We are discussing, I know also Congress is discussing about Muzaffarnagar, and you are very much interested about Muzaffarnagar. But we have forgotten what happened in Assam.
just a few months back.
Please complete in 30
Why
seconds.
we are not discussing it?
Please complete in 30 seconds.
No, no. So I say, we are discussing too much. And I remember what Yashwant Sinha said, what Advani said, what your party said, that the parliamentary board, members of the parliament, after the election they will decide who will be the prime minister candidate. And you have now started before that. Well, listen. No, listen, Baba.
10 seconds.
I listen. You are speaking. You are very. You are saying 5 lakh people in Haryana. Your BJP president of Haryana says more than 3 lakh people. So I don't want to say. I don't. No, statistics. Why you are putting the statistics? Don't put the statistics. Don't put the statistics. Don't try to.
Jaipur.
Okay, I just want to say that enough time is there. Enough time. What is the development model of Gujarat? Nobody knows.
I'll tell you in
three sentences. The development model of Bihar, the development model of others.
Now complete, please.
No, I'm coming.
Mr. Ranjan, you've crossed the time limit.
I just want to take.
You have to now let
the last 5 years, the entire north were not given the justice and entire money of this country.
Mr. Ranjan, your time is up. Piyush, response now.
This is the problem.
That's
1 minute.
almost like Caesar speaking from me.
Listen to him, please. 1 minute.
I think Modi has demonstrated a development model where in his state, today unemployment is the lowest in the country.
No interruptions.
Why you are saying lowest?
No interruptions, please.
Why he has interpreted? Don't preach enough. Why he has not? Now I will interpret.
I request you, Mr. Ranjan. I request you.
An opportunity to rebut Piyush.
Okay.
Like my party is a democratic party.
Your party is a fascist party and you are saying democratic
Mr. Ranjan, I request your indulgence. Mr. Ranjan, I request your indulgence. Mr. Ranjan, I request your indulgence.
You have a doctor around at home.
No, there is no doctor is required. I think I'll send you to a doctor.
No, I was worried you are getting too agitated.
1 second.
You are agitated. I am not agitated. That is my style.
1 second.
So may I
actually,
can I now? You've completed your turn. I give Mr. Piyush Goyal a minute to respond. Mr. Goyal.
Gujarat has demonstrated the lowest unemployment in the country, 10 per thousand, as per the government, central government labor statistics.
You are allowing me to speak all, you see, live.
No, you let him complete.
You are welcome to contradict if you can with statistics.
Okay, I'm coming.
Gujarat has demonstrated that under Mr. Modi, malnutrition has come down by 32% as against the national average of 9%. Gujarat has demonstrated that the poverty reduction figure in Gujarat is the highest as compared to the national average. Gujarat has demonstrated double-digit growth consistently for 10 years under Mr. Modi, which no other state has. Amongst all large states, it's the highest state GSDP growth. It's the highest...
Sovereign Development Republic of Gujarat.
Highest per capita growth in the country amongst all large states. Gujarat, Amartya Sen's book. Another person who we often...
We are not discussing development paradigm.
You want to know what he stands for? Gujarat today is a model state where infrastructure is the best in the country, minimum interference of government, what he calls maximum governance, minimum government. He has done skill development to scale. He has done tourism development higher than anybody else. That is what Modi stands for. Unlike divisive politics, where you look at what can we give to a particular section of society and
they are the part of the nation.
He says
they are the part of the nation.
Particular section.
He says when I get
part of the nation.
Your MLA was circulating.
They are very much citizen of this country.
Particular section of society is very
They are very much citizen of this country.
I'm sorry, it was your MLA who's accused of circulating mock videos in Muzaffarnagar. Started off the riots.
Absolutely.
So who's being divisive?
It's an open debate. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm saying that it was a BJP MLA who's accused of circulating those mock videos in Muzaffarnagar, which started off the riots. So who's being divisive? BJP is somewhere for left.
We have 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes.
Arnab, Gujarat stands for a state which has done inclusive development, which has reached the people of that state. The people have voted him back third time.
So Modi is very much required in Gujarat, not outside required.
And finally, in that state,
the question the viewers of Times Now tonight are asking is this: will you please tell us how you're going to form the next government, I bring this down to basics. Okay? And therefore the question is that who's going to form the government? The hashtag who will form government is our Twitter hashtag tonight. And my question is to Pawan Verma. We are talking about coalitions and who's going to form the government. Right? So we are 3-4 minutes away from closing the program. Pawan Verma and Sanjay Jha haven't had their turn. I'm going to them next. So first I'd like to go to Pawan Verma, who is responding and I presume rebutting Piyush Goyal, and then after that Sanjay Jha. I saw your hand go up there. I'll come straight to you. So we'll take both the gentlemen together first before we close the show. Okay. Pawan Verma first. Go ahead, Mr. Verma.
No, quickly to what Piyush Goyal said about governance. I think, Arnab, you should have a separate program on it. But just let me give you the facts. Gujarat was a partially developed state. Do you want to discuss development? I can give you all the statistics which clearly show that Mr. Modi's claim for governance is entirely generated hype and needs to be interrogated. So he's not offering governance. On the other hand, he's offering a complete degree of social divisiveness and disharmony. Can I give you facts? Do you have the time? If not, we'll discuss it separately.
Right here. Which one you want? I'll show you right here.
Okay, Arnab, do you give me just 1 minute, then I'll come back to you.
Unemployment,
1 minute. First of all, let me say to you on the development claims. Gujarat was a partially developed state. It did the Vibrant Summit of Gujarat. In 2012, the funds they have collected for Vibrant Summit, the utilization is 13%. Secondly, on health and education, Gujarat, in spite of its high GDP rates, is 15th or 17th in the country. Thirdly, 17% of Gujarat are tribal people. Their income over the last 5 years, their per capita income has grown by 0.14% against the state average of between 2.5 to 3%.
So
fourthly, Gujarat is the state with the highest level of labor unrest.
69% respondents. No, I got your point. You can
trying to make the point that it is an artificial hype.
Minor point.
And therefore,
why, Mr. Pawan Verma, 69% people saying that we primarily associate Modi with development?
That is the
marketing, PR hype.
The media hype which why? And I'll tell you one thing. Please, Arnab, I want you to note this point I'm making because it will come up in your discussion. Mr. Modi will make token gestures of trying to be socially inclusive in order to further project his governance image, but he cannot change his stride. And Muzaffarnagar, where the BJP's involvement, apart from the failures of Akhilesh Yadav, is not a coincidence. It is part of a pattern.
And
it's a part of a belief structure.
Your state first, improve the female literacy, improve the unemployment of ladies in your state.
Yes, you can always come and verify the statistics of Bihar, but I'm saying, please take the national picture. Mr. Modi cannot change himself. He's part of a belief structure, and it's all tokenism that will be done in the run-up to the elections.
Points made earlier by Sanjay Jha.
Arnab, very quickly, I want to respond to what Piyush Goyal.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Sanjay.
Yeah, Arnab, very quickly, let me tell you one simple example of Mr. Modi's very hyped up governance model was written in that bomb by Mr. Banzara. That is the way a chief minister ran his state. As far as Gujarat 2002 is concerned, we all know. Is that the governance model that India wants from its leaders? I think the answer is a no, and I think when people know about it, they will respond. And as far as development is concerned, unlike Mr. Piyush Goyal, who read a laundry list of prepared text, one example is enough to put him in place. Look at the indebtedness of the Gujarat government. This is a government that is living on huge borrowed debt. And somebody needs to ask a question, where has that money gone? And absolutely, the third point, his government gives freebies to large corporates who can afford to pay for the land, who can afford to pay for the subsidy. Yes. And Narendra Modi has cheated his own people, cheated his own taxpayers. And he's so brazen enough to take advantage of the natural Gujarat DNA of enterprise spirit and business and takes personal credit for it. I don't think India needs a leader who's a megalomaniac. India needs a leader who's inclusive, who can think about the entire country like Rahul Gandhi. And Piyush Goyal, Rahul Gandhi has led India in 2 national elections. He's won many state elections for India, and your leader has won 3 state elections. We'll see at the national level what the people of India answer you.
4 generations of Gandhis and Nehrus for all the problems of this country at CII. But by the way, Arnab, he's completely wrong in statistics. Sadly, an economist of his stature should have known that state debt of Gujarat has halved under Mr. Modi as a percentage of gross state domestic product from 23% to 12%.
This debate tonight, Arnab, I think there's a lot of mumbo jumbo going on at the moment.
He should come
there's
more
a lot of
prepared
mumbo
to the next
jumbo.
time.
This debate is never ending.